She hung out with the pedos. She was a snitch. She literally bragged about giving the knife to Nick in there.
Gypsy was not a lesbian. Gypsy didn't, if she, like I said, a girlfriend, it's they used her for canteen.
Was incarcerated from 2018 to 2022 with Gypsy Rose. She was actually my roommate for a very short period of time.
Months after being released on parole, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmates are speaking out and spilling the tea on her behavior while incarcerated. In a new bombshell TikTok video, two of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's cellmates went live together to talk about what it was like behind bars before Gypsy Rose Blanchard became famous. However, ever since then, two more cellmates who were roommates with Gypsy Rose have emerged with a completely different experience of being incarcerated with her. So we're going to go over who all of these people are and what they're saying about their experience being incarcerated with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Now, as we know, these are not the first people who have been incarcerated with Gypsy to speak out. So if you missed those videos, I will link it in the description of this video. As of recently, the first creator to speak out is a creator by the name of Skippity Doodah. She spent about a year in prison with Gypsy when Gypsy first arrived to prison in 2016, and Skippity Doodah was released in December of 2017. Now, she has alleged that Gypsy stole commissary, washed underwear for noodles, and hung out with the chomos. Now, she has posted several videos, which are usually text on screen to a song, and she mainly talks about Gypsy during live streams. So we're gonna take a look at some of those clips.
She can try to sue me. She really can. I am not worried about Miss Jip Jip. I did not watch her show. No, I'm probably not going to, just because I literally, when I hear her talk, it's so annoying. Like, she was on live, she got on live after I was live last night, and I tried to watch it, and I literally could only watch for like 5 seconds of it, and just had people tell me what she was saying, because like I literally could not. Yeah, Gypsy was not a lesbian. Gypsy didn't, if she, like I said, a girlfriend, it's they used her for canteen, which she claims she got like $500 every 2 weeks. Okay. Your spending limit's $800 or $80 a week.
Now, she brought up the part about Gypsy not having girlfriends while incarcerated because it came out during the new show that Gypsy actually had relationships and experimented with girls while incarcerated. And one of the previous cellmates that spoke out actually said that Gypsy was dating one of her family members.
She was cupcaking with my sister's best friend's sister.
Okay.
Yeah, sister's best friend's sister.
Okay.
Okay. And
oh yeah,
her sister was calling home asking my sister's best friend for money so that she could take care of Gypsy Rose.
So I think different things could have happened at different times since these people were incarcerated with Gypsy during different dates.
So, yeah, she did hang out with the child molesters. Those were her people. Those were the gang of people she hung out with. She did know their charges. Everybody knew who the chomos were. The innocent thing is an act for sure. Yes. She was literally coached and trained growing up how to speak and talk. And interviews, and like she knew how to do that. Her mom taught her how to do that. She was absolutely not even close to being a leader of anything. Her real voice, we don't know her real voice because her voice is completely different in prison than it is right now in real life.
We talk way worse. We talk all high and pitchy.
Hell no. I can't even do that.
Hi, my name's
Her
Gypsy.
voice was so squeaky.
So
Hell
funny.
no.
Yeah, she would talk like this.
Oh,
I mean, she told, like I said last night, she did tell some people in there without straight up saying I did it. She told some people that she did it without saying she did it. Like,
she said, did she ever get jumped? Hell no. Gypsy ain't getting no fights.
no. Fuck no.
All day.
She pulled an OJ Simpson for sure.
Hell no. No R. Kelly shit.
She was not the leader of the pod. These comments are so funny.
Man, I swear. I be reading something.
Was she protected by people in there? Fuck no.
Hell no.
Oh. No.
Gypsy need to tap in with us.
Yeah, how do I do that?
Fuck, I don't know. She probably won't accept it anyways.
You hung out with the chomos and the pedals. Like, you don't, that's like, you don't do that. You get labeled as one. Gypsy that was there with us for a while before we all
No,
left.
she got there before we got there.
No, we got there before she did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did she get commissary? Hell yeah. Bitch came back with 5 bags.
That high-pitched voice she does. So I don't even know her real voice because her real voice, the voice in prison was totally different than the voice now. So she used to talk like this. Hi, I'm Gypsy. Can I wash a pair of your underwear for a pack of noodles? Do I have a what? Problem adapting to life without crime? No. I literally live a normal life like any normal person does. Without crime. I got locked up for second-degree robbery.
Now, after those lives, she did a live with another cellmate that was incarcerated with Gypsy.
I think she did have more involvement than what she leads on just because she told a few people in there without saying she did it, she said she did it.
Her stories changed all the time, like...
Yeah. She literally bragged about giving the knife to Nick in there.
And what's crazy to me, like, okay, what's crazy to me is, like, she acts like she does not care about his well-being and stuff. Well, like, now she's saying, like, because everybody was on her about it, like, how can you not care? But legitimately, like, that girl does not care about him. Like,
Nick has to go to trial. He's doing a retrial or an appeal for less time or like a retrial. So Nick can't really speak out right now because that could affect his his appeal. But I feel like if he gets denied, it's going to be a wrap. Either way, it's going to be a wrap for him or for her.
I feel like she'll try to do probably put all her money into, like, stopping that.
Yeah.
She stopped. No, never once. Wholeheartedly, she never tried to run that place. Ever.
No.
She's back.
Yeah, no. She was like a nobody in there, like straight up. How we know you ain't lying for views? See, here we go with this bullshit.
You can look us up. Why would we lie?
Yeah.
Look up our dates. And when we were in there, it says, like, go to CashApp, Missouri, and then look at my name. It's the same as on here. And then look at my dates. I got charged in 2015 and 2014. And you'll see. The dates match up, I promise.
The drink is called a rack.
Oh my god, that is so annoying. Oh my gosh. That was a thing way before Gypsy, I promise you.
It was definitely way before Gypsy's time.
I've never even seen her make one of those, to be honest with you. She probably watched everybody else make them. I've never, like, I'm being 100% honest, I never seen her make a rack in my life. Like, never once. Next, she's gonna be posting whippets. This is how you make a whippet.
Yeah.
Probably had to.
Whippets were the shit, though. She did have the baby voice in there. It was a lot worse in there than it is now, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure she did that because she didn't, like, she was going in this, like, environment that she didn't know, you know what I mean? And so she probably started out like that and just had to stay that way the whole time because they're going to be like, what the fuck, this girl is completely different.
It's so funny.
I did not know her before she got there. No, I didn't know about her.
Yeah, she was not famous.
No.
She was not famous. She was stealing people's commissary because she had no money.
Now, after she started speaking out, it actually made it into a few articles, and shortly after that, another creator by the name Tuesday Sparks emerged with her details about being incarcerated with Gypsy.
Work with me while we talk about Gypsy Rose. So, I was incarcerated from 2018 to 2022 at Chillicothe Correctional Center with Gypsy Rose. She was actually my roommate for a very short period of time, but I lived on the wing with her several times, off and on throughout the years. And every time I see something people post about her, I always feel like I'm going to make this video. But I never do, because I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to stay out of it. People have their strong feelings and opinions about her that don't even know her, which is really weird to me. But I was just listening to a podcast about her, and I'm going to say my opinion. I honestly have no idea why people feel so strongly about other people when they don't know them. But, you know, that's just life. People do. Everybody has their opinions. But, my opinion in my time knowing her, Gypsy is such a sweet girl. I know that she did what she did, and it was wrong. You know, I did what I did, and it was wrong. The difference between me and Gypsy was I was an adult, and I knew better. And I lived a normal life. And I knew that I didn't have to do what I did. And I did it anyway. Gypsy, her whole life, was in a very irrational environment. Nothing in her life was normal, ever, from a very young age. So, I think that she definitely acted irrationally, but that's what she's seen her whole life. Gypsy said that she felt more freedom in prison than she had ever felt. I also feel like if this was an abused woman and she killed her husband because she felt like that was her only way out, we would make excuses. She's being berated, and it's just crazy how people literally hate her, have such strong feelings towards her because of what she did when she was a teenager.
This is a common misconception many people have. Gypsy was not a teenager when she was arrested for her crimes. She was actually 23, 24 years old. She was an adult.
We'll see. She's very sweet and kind, and she would give anybody anything. She was very childlike in prison, but she also stood firm on what she believed, and you know, she didn't let people push her around or bully her. Not saying that she was a bully by any means, but when she was being treated unfairly, she definitely spoke up on it. And I always liked that about her, because a lot of people didn't. She was always doing these crazy makeups, these anime. She was always a character and getting her pictures. She loved having her pictures taken. She took care of her skin. She loved magazines, and she loved learning like DIYs for, you know, such a girly girl. She was a lot of fun. She was always, her room was always like a lot of lapping and playing and dancing. And, you know, we didn't have like radios, but we did have headphones. And so, you know, you just see them like, if she was in the room with like younger people, she would be like having her headphones on and dancing and just really fun. She's super, super sweet. She really is. She didn't care what other people had. She didn't worry about, in prison, like, status is determined by how much canteen you have and how much clothes you have and, you know, all these things. The food, the meals that you would prepare and, you know, who you had in your clique, and she didn't care about that. What she did care about was makeup. She had a lot of makeup. She cared about crafts. She loved making things. And she cared about people, for real. Another thing that bothers me is Gypsy didn't ask for any of this. She did not ask for her case to be made famous, you know. She didn't ask for people to be following her around. She didn't ask for there to be a camera crew outside of the prison when she was let out. She didn't ask for any of that. She didn't ask to be judged every day You know, she didn't. I do believe Gypsy learned her lesson. I believe that Gypsy was in a really bad place when she committed her crime. I believe that she did feel trapped. And I'm happy that she did her time. She sat down, learned her lesson. And I'm happy that she's out and thriving. It's crazy to see somebody that you lived with for so many years, that you ate next to, that you had so many conversations with, you sat on the phone line with them, sat on the phone with them, shared a room with them. You know, it's crazy to see them. You were just brushing your teeth with them, and then now they're on TV. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Me and Anna talk about it all the time, how crazy it is to see her. Like, she's just Gypsy, you know. She's great, and I'm happy for her. And I wish her nothing but wonderful things. I love that she's experiencing life in such a beautiful way. I know that she has a lot of hard times, but she's strong enough for it. She really is. She can handle it. So one more thing I want to add, and then I really gotta get to work, is she did not do things for attention. She did not act out. She did not. There were a lot of people in there that did, and she didn't. She was not one of those people. She stayed out of trouble. She did what she was supposed to do. You know, she enjoyed the little luxuries that she got, so she stayed on incentive wings and did the right thing. She did what she was supposed to do. She did not act out. She was not in the middle of the day room screaming and hollering and yelling like a lot of people in here. She was not even, she stayed in her room for the most part. I'm telling you, she does not care about the attention. I know that she doesn't. Believe me or don't, I can only speak to her character, what I've seen.
Now, Gypsy actually commented on this video and said, "Finally, words from someone who actually knew me in prison. So many want to slander my character, out to simply be recognized. Tuesday, thanks girl for telling the truth." Tuesday responds, "You're welcome, girl. It's so awesome to me to see you out here thriving like you are, doing all the things we talked about. I don't know why there's so much ugliness in the world, Gyps, but you're beautiful." She then posted this second follow-up video.
Okay, so I wanted to post a little part 2, just like a continuation of what I said, because since then I have found out that there are people saying that they were in prison with her that I don't remember being there, but that were in prison with her, and she was like bragging about what she did, and that's could be the furthest from the truth. Gypsy very rarely talked about her case ever. And when she did, Gypsy has so much remorse and guilt for what she did and her part in it. So I can't imagine that's not even her heart. That's not even her character. I can't even fathom anybody knowing her and not liking her. Not even not liking her, but having bad things to say about her.
Bro, Gypsy gave me her last naked noodle out of her locker, bro. And I had canteen. I was just irresponsible that week. And I was like, yo, Gyps, I need a noodle, bro. She's like, all I have is a naked noodle. I'm like, yo, run it. That's all she had in her locker, bro. She did not have to give me that. She would do anything for anybody, man. Period.
Yeah, it just blows my mind, for real. I just knew she was going to get out and everybody was going to love her. And it's so crazy that people have anything bad to say about her, period, because she's such a sweetheart.
And people keep correcting, talking about, because we do keep on saying she was a kid whenever this shit happened. Like, she was a child. Okay, obviously not literally she was a child. If she was literally a child, she would not be in a grown adult prison. You know, she would not be in...
She was very childlike, though, in prison, and so it's kind of hard to...
She didn't know she was an adult. She didn't know that.
This is another misconception. Gypsy did know she was an adult.
That's crazy, man.
I don't know. Since the beginning, since she first got out and people started hating on her, I just have been like, I want to make a post. But I'm like, no. You know, I don't want her to feel like I'm like clout chasing or I want to jump on the bandwagon or whatever, because that's not the case. But I definitely feel like I need to say, I was just listening to a podcast, and I was listening to Bunny XO, and she loves Gypsy. But Bunny XO had some questions, and it just seemed like she was trying to like get to know her more. And so I don't know, it made me want to share all the good things I know about her, because she was great. She was great. She was sweet. She stayed out the way. She wasn't in drama. I don't know how anybody could say anything bad.
I know, bro. I know. While we were throwing parties in the day room, bro, on all bullshit, dude, Gypsy was just in the background, like, a little timid, a little shy.
Yeah. It's so funny. She used to shave her eyebrows.
Now, it appears another cellmate actually commented on this video and said, I see videos of chicks saying they were there and I don't remember seeing them either. And I was there from 06 to 20. But she don't have remorse. Look how she's living out here. And Anna, she gave you a noodle because you're a quote stud. She wouldn't do anything for anyone. Y'all can't be in the gypsy bandwagon. That's crazy. And Skibbity Doodah actually stitched and replied to Tuesday's video. Here it is.
They were in prison with her that I don't remember being there.
I mean, birds of a feather flock together, don't they? Also, you don't remember me because I got out December 16, 2017. Do you remember Sheena, the lifer that got out? You don't remember her? Oh. Do you remember Taz or Rob or Tasha? Because they're going to be guest starring on my podcast. And who are you? Oh. And who's the girl in the back? Oh. That's right.
Now, obviously, people are talking about this on TikTok, specifically the part where it's alleged that Gypsy hung out with the pedos. So this creator, by the name Paris, not Hilton, made a video discussing what Skippity Doodah was saying. And Gypsy commented on her video, look up Tuesday Sparks. She was actually my roommate. So Tuesday did a video reply to that comment.
You can go through my comments and see all the people that said, I was also in there with her and that's a lie. I was also with her and that's not true. I was also in there with her. And Gypsy stayed to herself. You can go through my comments and see the people. So because 2 people have said this about her, like, I don't understand why everybody's taking it and running with it. It's just ridiculous. It literally is so crazy. If you go to that lady that originally said it, if you go to her TikTok, her entire TikTok is bragging about people in prison and people she knew in prison and murderers she knew in prison. And she hates Gypsy so much. She's always talking bad about Gypsy. But the murderers that she talks about are horrendous. And they're never getting out of prison. Their crimes are disgusting. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Gypsy's wasn't. But all I'm saying is, like, look at the people that are saying it and look at their character, and then look at the people that are saying otherwise and look at their character. Again, you can believe whatever you want now that you have word from people that were actually her roommate. Now you have a choice. You can believe the positive or you can believe the negative. Like I said, there's several people that I was in prison with that have commented on there and said that those things about who she hung out with, and they're not true. Gypsy did not leave the wing. Gypsy she barely went to the yard. She didn't hang out with anybody for real. She didn't have a clique, you know. She stayed to herself, and everybody knows that. Anybody that was there knows that. If people are saying different, they do it because look at all the attention it's gotten them. Why not?
Now, shortly after Tuesday made her first video, another roommate of Gypsy's emerged, and her name is Ashten Haylee on TikTok. Here's her video.
Okay, let's clarify the little elephant in the room. So we all know that Gypsy's a very big hot topic right now, and you know, everyone's making a controversy about her and like how she is and how proudful she is about killing her mother and all this crazy ass crap. Well, I'm here to tell you I was her roommate for 6 months, and that's the last thing she ever felt great about. There was days where she would literally wake up in the middle of the night and cry because of the traumatic events. Gypsy is far from the person that the media has made her. Gypsy has went so far from just the person that I have known to this incredible human being just trying to live life after what she has went through. Anybody that knocks that is absolutely psychotic. I was in prison from December of 2016 all the way until March 28th of 24. 7.5 years I spent in Chillicothe, Missouri. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was her roommate for 6 months. Me and Gypsy had the best time together, hands down. Best roommate I've ever had. I can honestly say that. There's been times where me and Gypsy have been so bored with our life because obviously there's nothing to do that we would sit around and go through each other's makeup and see. I always used to steal Gypsy's makeup because she always had the best. And we would just sit there and like do little creative activities. She loved DIY. She loved beads. She loved to do like little things that like would make her time go by and not just at a standstill. Gypsy loved to be on the phone with her family. I remember one time I called when she was on the phone with her dad, and he's so funny. But I remember her just being a great human. I just remember her being a great human. You know, me and her both have talked about each other's case to each other, and I got to watch Gypsy emotionally tell her story. Talking about it literally gives me chills. There is not a single question in my mind that this woman does not have a single remorse about her mother. This lady cares more about her mother than I have ever seen anybody. The emotion that she shows, and this was not for the camera, this was just me and her behind a wall in our room just talking. The emotion that she carried behind this story is just tremendous. And for anybody to feel like she bragged or boasted or did anything about that, that's crazy. She never bragged. Anytime it even came up, she would cry about it or she would get really silent and you could just tell that she was shutting down. I'm not here to talk about Gypsy's story. I'm not here to talk about what she did. Yes, it was wrong. 100% she knows that. She lives with those demons. She lives with nightmares. She lives with the thought of never getting to see her mother again. But let me tell you guys something from what I've experienced with her. Gypsy in prison never, ever bragged. Let's clarify that right now. She never bragged about killing her mother. It makes her sick to her stomach that when there's a new video or someone saying this or someone saying that, it makes her sick. I remember when the Lifetime movie came out. She told me, she pulled me in the room and she was like, my attorney has reached out to me. They're getting ready to do a Lifetime movie about me and I am just so scared because I don't want people to think that like this is really what happened or, you know, the details are like hitting against the fact that, you know, she was proud of what she did. She said, Ashton, I would much rather get out and tell my story than to sell it to Lifetime. Now, when our other roommate was Keisha, so when me and Gypsy lived together, we had our roommate Keisha. Now, she loved DIY. She loved, you know, like girly stuff. Keisha has life without. Everybody in prison is sentenced to something that is either cruel, punishable, or sometimes there is accidents. My case, for example, purely an accident. Never meant for it to happen. Never wanted it to happen. But when I tell you, I told my story to Gypsy, and then that's what made her open up to me about hers. Never asked any details, never wanted to know, because just when you're in prison, there's just some things that you don't intrude on people's personal life. I guess you just learn that whenever you first get there. You just don't want to do that. It's not something, oh, what are you here for? Oh, what did you do? Or you just don't do that. You get to know a person for what they are, who they are, and how they are. When I met Gypsy, I fell in love with her. I was like, oh, she's such a ball of fun. Her little voice always made me so happy. She was always in a great mood. You could never see her down. anytime someone offended her, bothered her, she would never show it. She would never show it. She would go in the room and just cry because she never understood why people were so hateful to her. Now watching all this around, what's going on, all this stuff on the social media platforms, whatever, it makes me sick. It literally does. It makes me sick that someone could bully someone so horrific to the point where they shut down their social media accounts. They want to live literally in a shack in a normal life and not have any of this going on. Like, it's crazy. I love my little life. I love my girlfriend. I love being out of prison. It's been an experience for sure. But to sit around and talk about Gypsy and just think that like she's not hurt behind what happened, she most definitely is. She most definitely is. People don't understand that when you go through something as traumatizing as her, you don't know how to deal with it. You don't have counseling. You don't have people to stand by you. You lose everybody because your crime goes up in flames and everybody, oh, she killed this person and oh, she did this and oh, she did that. You're only noticed for the bad that you do. And it shouldn't be like that. I remember one day I called home and I was on the phone with my grandma and I was like, oh, Grandma, you'll never believe who my roommate is. And she was like, who? And I told her, I was like, it's Gypsy. So Gypsy got on the phone with my grandma because, of course, Gypsy is all over, the news. And my grandma just got to talk to her. And she loved it. She loved it. It was normal to her that someone just was like, hey, how are you? And oh my God, what did you do? Like, it's okay to sit there and tell somebody, hi, how are you today? Instead of being like, oh my God, Gypsy Rose killed her mother and she's not her behind it and she doesn't feel bad and she just wants this and she's a manipulator and she's only been in prison. She's never lived a normal life. She's never been able to experience a walk in the park. She's never experienced getting her nails done, doing her makeup. Like, she's never experienced any of those normal societal things. Like, she's never gotten to do that. She never has. I personally amend Gypsy for how she has handled everything, how she has went about everything, how she ignores all of it. I commend her on all of that. She is a beautiful individual, and anybody that has ever not gotten the chance to take the time to know her, truly understand her feelings, truly understand the things that she has been through, that's your loss, because Gypsy is hands down one of the best people I have ever met in prison, ever. And I remember when, she was going through what she was going through with Ken, the emotion that I saw behind that was just, it was enlightening, because to see somebody have so much hurt behind things not working out or someone leaving her. She has so much trauma behind her mom that she's scared that nobody will ever want to be around her. Nobody will ever, want her, or nobody will ever, love her for her.
Now, of course, Gypsy Rose Blanchard commented on that video, "Love you, girly." Then Ashton uploaded this part 2 video.
Okay, so please excuse my mess of makeup. It's not blended, it's not put together, but I had to bring my pup outside. So, I was gonna speak about Gypsy and Ryan and Ken and how that traumatized her and how it hurt her, but I just feel like that's not really my place. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the people that think Gypsy was in prison bragging about killing her mother. Anybody there, if they're trying to say something different, they know they're lying. Gypsy never ever claimed that she was proud of what she did. She never claimed that, she would do it again. She has nightmares. She has terrors about it, and it's crazy. Who I met, the Gypsy that I met, I love her.
the Gypsy that was in my room, I would do it all over again. I wouldn't do prison setting, but I would definitely take her as a roommate because she was pretty awesome. She was always there to help somebody. If you wanted something, she was giving her last. Like, I can't repeat that enough. Like, that is literally what I'm here for, is to tell you guys, the people that are there to say that Gypsy is not that way, they're lying. Gypsy, there would have been times where I needed help and Gypsy helped me out. Didn't ever have to pay her back, didn't ever have to do anything to, like, you know, help her or make her feel like, you know, oh, I got you. She was just like, here, take it. She always just, I remember movie nights, Lifetime movie nights. Loved them. She would, like, come right next to my bed because we both lived up top. We lived on the top bunk. We had four beds in our cell. We both lived up top. So she lived across the way and I lived on the other side. And we'd be like, okay, like, it's time to watch our Lifetime movie, or okay, let's watch this together. And she would get down off her bunk and literally pull the buddy. We had, like, these little stools. She would pull the buddy right up by my bed and just stand there and watch TV with me. Like, she was the sweetest human being. Like, it's horrible to, like, see some of the things that she's going through on social media or the platforms that people are like, oh, convicted killer and, you know, this, that, and the third. It sucks because you don't know why people do what they do, especially when you haven't lived a day in their shoes. What Gypsy endured and what she suffered was just horrific. And, you know, I'm not here to be like, oh, she's a horrible person for doing what she did. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't know what she went through. I know what she has told me and what she's been through, and to watch the pain come out of her eyes myself, hands down, has hurt me. I've cried with Gypsy just talking with her about, like, what she's experienced, because when I think I've had it bad, not even close. I haven't had remotely anything close to what she's been through in life. So yeah, back to what I was saying, you know, Gypsy's just amazing. And for anybody that doesn't believe that, anybody that claims that they know her and they don't, she's an awesome human being, and I applaud her for coming home and trying to live a normal life the best that she can. You know, it is what it is. Things happen in life, and I think that she's doing an amazing job at coming home and trying to do what she needs to do to better her life. And, you know, this isn't about clout. I love my little life. I love being around my girlfriend. I love just, you know, living normal. I would never trade that for the world. So this video is not about that. This video is to just say who I knew and who she does know. And with that being said, I think that's a wrap for Gypsy. She's an amazing person, and if anybody ever gets the chance to meet her, you'd fall in love. So
I feel like a lot of these cellmates don't really know the in-depth details about Gypsy's case that most of us who have been following this very closely know. They had first-hand interaction with her, so they know what they've been told and what they've seen by the media. A few of Gypsy's cellmates have said that Gypsy was quiet and kept to herself, and I can honestly say that I don't picture her going into prison and being off the chain, aggressive, or loud, but we all know that Gypsy knows how to manipulate and knows how to get the things that she wants. She knows how to use people. And the argument that Gypsy didn't ask to be, quote, famous or for all of this attention is ridiculous to me, because what did she think having 2 seasons of a TV show was going to do? Did she expect a payday but not want people to talk about it? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a convicted murderer, period. And I feel like more people are actually concerned with her behavior post-release from prison, because when Gypsy was first released, she had a great deal of support, but as she was going on media tour and podcast and interview, the support slowly started to shift based on the things she was saying herself. That then led to people going back through her case, her past interviews, past documentaries, and noticing the inconsistencies within her story. We also have to keep in mind that not all of these inmates are incarcerated all together at the same time. Other inmates may have been incarcerated when she first came into prison, and others maybe later in her stay. So everyone's experience and opinion is going to be different. Now, I'm sure this is not going to be the last that we've heard from Gypsy Rose Blanchard's Cellmates, so I will link everyone's TikTok accounts in the description of this video. I know that Skippity Doodah did create a YouTube channel and plans to start a prison podcast. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.